Welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, and welcome here today to a video that I have put so much thought into, because over the past few days I've been sitting down and I've been trying to figure out what has gone wrong. What has gone wrong here for a man who, when he came in through the door, Quique Setién, he said all the right things. We were very, very excited. How is it all unravelled, and how has it done so quickly? And with his job remaining on the line, he's expected to leave at the end of the season. In today's video, we are going to be talking about why I feel Quique Setién is the right coach for Barcelona, but at the worst possible time. It's not going to work now. It sadly never was going to, but only now can we really see why. Let's do this. Because let me first of all start by saying I'm not making excuses for Quique Setién here, and I'm not saying by any means that he's perfect. He has made mistakes at Barcelona, which at a club like this, with the expectations the way they are always going to cost you your job at the end of the day. But I do believe that with Setien, his approach, his style of play, his principles, what he's tried to instill here at the club, it is very close to what we as Barcelona fans wanted to see when Ernesto Valverde went out the door. Because let's remember here, when Valverde left and Setien came in, the priority wasn't let's just get results and wins and however we need to do it just to win the trophies. That wasn't really what we were going for. We wanted to see a change in the style, we wanted to see a more exciting Barcelona, and I do believe we've seen glimpses, but we haven't seen it enough, and we're not going to, because with this squad of players, it's become clear now that is an impossible task. Because sadly, over the past few weeks, over the past few months, maybe even over the past few years, we have come to realise rather abruptly here, this team is no longer the Barcelona that we know and love. Because you look there out on the field, you watch us play game in, game out. How many of the fundamentals, how many of the principles do you see in every game that makes you think, yeah, that's the Barcelona that I love. That's the Barcelona that I want to see. And the answer would be hardly any. This is a team that has become barely recognisable with the team that we once fell in love with, both on and off the pitch. This is nothing like Barcelona that we want. And Setien did arrive with the perfect intentions. He wanted to bring Barcelona back to his former glory. He described it there as his dream job. But the problem is, the team that he arrived into, he said it himself, he was very, very surprised immediately once he arrived with the condition of the squad. And sadly now, we have an aging group of players. We do have a problem with player power. We do have a problem with our management. And we have a group of players who I feel now don't have that hunger. They have never really wanted to adopt the style of play that Setien wanted to bring in. And it's interesting here to look further into that point, because that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Setien's ideas on paper are very, very good. In principle, what he wanted to bring to the club is exactly what we wanted to see, but you watch the team out on the field and we've fallen flat. We lack unity out there. We don't play as a team. There is a clear divide there between the players who want to follow the instructions and those who definitely do not. And many of these players, let's not forget here, and it's clear now, many of these players much preferred life under Ernesto Valverde. And let's take a closer look here at why that is the case, and why, to be honest, it's so clear to see now. Because this here was the team that started against Sevilla, where things really started to unravel for Quique Setién. You look here, the average age of that team was 30.7. The highest average age of a lineup in Barcelona's history, with 7 players there over the age of 31. And now what is going to be the common theme among those players? Are they going to be hungry to win? No, they pretty much want everything there is to win in the world of football. They're not hungry anymore. Number 2, are they going to want to work hard? Not really, they're aging. They can't run as much as they used to, they can't play with the same intensity as they used to, so they're not really going to want to do that either. And number 3, are they going to want to learn again? They're at the stage now of their career, they're going into their final years. Quite honestly, they just want easy enough time to go out there, have some fun, play for Barcelona, and try and play as well as they can. But they're not going to be too intent on learning anything new or going back to what they were doing all those years ago, because these are different players now. They're at a different stage of their career, and because of the core of the team, and so many of those players are in those final years, you have a big problem. Because many people have said, you look over at Bayern Munich, you look at Hansi Flick going in there mid-season, and he has transformed that club. Suddenly now, Bayern Munich are the favourites to win the Champions League. They're firing on all cylinders. They've won the Bundesliga. And many people are saying, well, why couldn't Setien have that kind of impact that Flick did at Bayern Munich? Why haven't we seen that kind of transformation? The answer is clear. Bayern Munich are hungry. They have a team there and a core group of players who want this. They're motivated, they're young, they're eager to learn, they're happy there to take on new ideas, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get that glory. I don't feel the same with Barcelona. I don't feel as though they have that motivation anymore. They don't have that burning desire inside them to go out and repeat what they once did. They've been there, they've done that. And also, don't just think here I'm putting this on the players, because it's not their fault they're still in the team. They've been allowed there to remain in the lineup. They've been allowed to stay in the team and basically remain untouchable because of those upstairs. The board, the management at Barcelona have allowed here the core of this team to crumble, to age, to stagnate. And just have a look at this. Look at the comparison between Barcelona, who've decided there to add another signing to their team, over 30 years old, Miralem Pjanic, and just look there at the comparison between the planning of Barcelona and of Bayern Munich. Every single player, every Bayern player you see there is 25 years old or under. They could field an entire starting 11, and look at the quality. Look at the players there they have on show compared to Barcelona. We should be on the same level. We should be competing for the same objectives as Bayern Munich, but we're not. And not only that, we're nowhere near. That team there is absolutely ridiculous. How has it got to that stage where Barcelona, the people who are running the club, are thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. That's the road we want to go down. It is absolutely shambolic. And that is why, like I say, these players at Barcelona preferred playing under Ernesto Valverde, and potentially they were more successful. But I still believe Setien is the better option for a traditional Barcelona team. Because under Valverde, these players found it much easier. They had less training, it was less intense. They went out there with less instructions, they had more freedom on the field, and quite honestly, they just had to do less work under Valverde. They didn't have to learn a new style all over again. They didn't have to go out there and press like crazy. Valverde, quite clearly, right throughout his time as coach, you could see he relied more upon individual quality, as opposed there to creating an entire structure of a team. And to be fair, Messi, much better under Valverde. He played much better under Ernesto Valverde, and he was more effective, and that's going to make the difference. And that's why I feel the difference is there between Valverde and Setien. Valverde quite clearly put all the emphasis on Messi. Everything must go through Messi. Messi is the best in the world. Just pass it to him, and hopefully he will do the rest. And to be fair, most of the time it did work, because Messi is that good. But obviously, there are going to be those times when you come up against the best teams, against the best coaches, with the best players, where that's not going to work. Individual quality can only get you so far, as we found out in the Champions League against Roma and against Liverpool. But in terms of La Liga, it did work for Valverde, and you do have to say the players definitely did prefer working under him. And that's why, for me, Setien is just here at the wrong time. His plan for me isn't about individual quality. He doesn't just want to go through one or two players there. He wants a system that accommodates everybody. He wants there the responsibility that's shared around in that team. And that's the next thing I'd say. You look at our team right now, and it's just not there. If you don't want to play through Messi, if you don't want to put it all through him, which we don't, we do want to be a more balanced team. But the problem is, where are the other threats coming from? Because if you look there at the team that started against Atletico Madrid, and you just look at the players and the characteristics and the profiles that we have out there on the field, and you can see Setien's problem. And not just Setien too. You can also see, I've got to be honest, you can see the problem that Valverde had. Because you look there, first of all, at the strike force. You've got Lionel Messi, of course we're not disputing his quality, best in the world, without question. Luis Suarez, though, questionable. Quite clearly, over the past few seasons, his performance there has drastically deteriorated. You look in that midfield. Okay, Ricky Puig was sensational, and I'll always be grateful for what Setien has done there, bringing Puig into the team. But apart from that, Vidal, Rakitic, Busquets, all of those aging players, and we are lacking in any real creativity there from those three players. And of course here, these are four midfielders, which mean they're going to be more central there. You're relying there on the fullbacks to win. And would you honestly describe those two players there, Alba and Semedo, in the way they are right now, as the Barcelona fullbacks that you dream of, that you really want in your team? On his day, when he really wants to be, Albert can be an outstanding left back, but it doesn't come often enough, and he's another player who's into his 30s now, and certainly coming into his final years. And then you've got Semedo. When you have to give him there the entire wing to go and attack time and time again, he can show flashes, but he's nowhere near somebody there like Dani Alves. It's an unfair comparison, but that was what we had during the best days. Players like that, fullbacks like that, who got forward, who connected with the midfield, who connected there with the strike force, who had that telepathic combination. We don't have that anymore. And when you look at this team, and when you break it down, we're not actually that good. We don't actually have great players in this team anymore. We have players who have been great. We have players who have achieved everything, and there's no getting away from that. But when you break it all down, this is a struggling team. And I'll go back to Valverde, and this might surprise you, but you look here at this 4-4-2 formation, and quite honestly, maybe when he came into Barcelona, or maybe there during his final season, or the one before that, maybe he actually looked at those players and he thought, you know what, there's not a lot I can do. Maybe Valverde would have liked to done what Setien has done, tried to play expansively. Maybe he would have liked to brought some of his own ideas, but maybe he took one look at that squad and thought, you know what, I think the best thing to do here is just go for individual quality. I think the best thing to do here is actually just let them go out there and try and get some goals, try and get some wins. Because that team there, it is aging at the core. They don't want to learn new things. We don't actually have the biggest, best players in the world anymore. And quite honestly, it is time we started accepting that. Because this team, under the current board, it is in tatters now. And that's why, like I say, guys, I don't want to just make excuses here for Quique Setién and say, oh, you know, he would have been amazing if things could have just been different. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is we have to be realistic here in our expectations. Because, like I say, when you do look through player to player, you look at that team. And honestly, right now, it is looking difficult for Barcelona to manage the expectations we have as Barcelona fans because we want to be competitive. We will always strive to win every single trophy. And when you have something like Messi in your team, of course, that inflates the expectations. Because then we think, we've got Messi, we've got the best ever, we have him in our team. Of course, we should be aiming to win everything. But football's not like that. Football right now especially is certainly about the team. It's about managing every single player. It's about developing a system which can be effective in the biggest of games. And right now with Barcelona, with that aging core, with a team who don't really want to take on new instructions, it's difficult, not just for Setien, not just for Valverde, but I think any coach who comes in, and that's why for me, Xavi Hernandez, he's not going to go near this team. He is not going to go anywhere near that group of players under the current board. 2021, for me, that's the first chance we will get to see of Xavi Hernandez. Definitely not before. So like I say, guys, I did put a lot of thought and a lot of thinking into today's video. I've been trying to work out exactly where it all has gone wrong, and I'm absolutely sure that you guys have got some great opinions as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Where has it gone wrong for Quique Setién? Where can we improve in the future, near or long term? Let me know all of those thoughts in the comments down below on what you feel is happening right now at the club that we love. I will see you soon with more videos to come, of course. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.